not everybody plays by the same rules.
Yeah.
And the rules that we have in the United States, which we hold very dear to us, that's the very foundation of our existence, is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of movement, freedom of expression, which is speech, and that sort of thing.
Press.
Of the press. We hold that very near and dear, and it's the very foundation of which we're built. Other countries don't have that. And I think we sometimes have a hard time understanding that because we grew up with those as assumptions. And when we go elsewhere and they don't play by those rules, we either don't get it and or we become trapped by it and or taken advantage of because of that. And I think part of an understanding of other people's culture and getting to know people and trusting is knowing what those rules of engagement are and then being realistic about what they are. And remember that we think ours is the best way to do things. We think our form of government, which is very messy sometimes, but we think it's the best way we do things because we have open dialogue, we have open dissension, and we don't generally settle our differences here in St. Paul with fists or guns. We might argue, we might even yell at each other sometimes, but we get along, we still call ourselves friends. I'm talking Democrats, Republicans, I'm talking about urban, suburban, rural. You know, we do that here, and we also understand that. But I think for our own safety and well-being, a healthy dose of reality about how does this person operate in someplace else and what is their norm. And remember, when we're there, we're not going by our rules, we're on their rules now. We play by the way they do things. And I think sometimes we can get ourselves in trouble as Americans when we go elsewhere and impose our values, our ways of doing things. We can cause problems with them or for ourselves by doing that. We can maybe harm ourselves, put ourselves in danger sometimes. Worse yet, do we offend other people? I know that's worse, but so I think the healthy dose of reality is understanding that not everybody's the way we are. And should everybody be the way we are? Do we have absolutely the best system? I believe we do for here. But when we're there, do we impose that on them? That's a fundamental question. And it gets more to just, is it democracy or not? Is it our norms? You know, do we close the door or do we open the door? Well, if I'm in France, you know what I did when I was in France? When I left, I closed the door because that's what they do, and I respect that. But when we were here, we explained to Thibault that this is the way we do it. You are here to learn our culture, and this is what we do. So you know, we'd like you to do that. and so, very simple example, but I think it illustrates the example. And I'm sure you learned that with some little things, and you could probably think of some little thing you did in Cambodia. You said, "Oh, I didn't do that right. I won't do that again."
Dancing.
You know?
When we were there, they danced in Khmer, or like they're
taking your shoes off.
and we were trying to do it, and they're like, "No, no, no!" And then they showed us how to do it, but yeah.
So anyway, and again, I think all these principles are really good, but you know, common sense and reality always have to be a part. They just do.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.